Hello and welcome to another episode of the Reapercast. In this case, this is Dani Montalvo speaking. It's not Garth Humphreys, but he's kind of loaned me this space to just put up another tutorial, in this case of sidechaining in Windows, which is what we're going to be covering today. So first thing we're going to do is explaining a little bit what's sidechaining. Sidechaining is the way in which we are controlling the volume of a track with the input from another track or a group of tracks. And we are going to talk about that in a minute. This particular effect is achieved by creating sends from the voice tracks, the ones that we want to control the music volume, to the music track, which is actually there just to receive the inputs of the voice tracks and then to be applied a compressor so that the volume gets up and down depending on several parameters that we're going to be configuring right now. So I've got a project here in Reaper, which is the intros for my podcast that I work on here in my spare time here in Spanish. So I've got the music track, which is at the bottom of the project.
To intro under the blank 4 music arm 1 item.
That. By the way, I'm using JAWS for Windows this time. So very much of the things that I'm going to be dealing with here are the same for NVDA, but not all of them. So I'll explain the differences when they arrive. So I've got the music and I've got 3 different voice tracks.
Blank 3 column unit 3 items. 2 intro underline Levimos underline Fran underline Tiny music arm 1 item. 1 intro underline Levimos underline Fran arm 1 item.
Which are 3 different persons which have cooperated here with me and have recorded an intro segment for the podcast. So in this case, I will use the sidechain to just determine the amount of volume that the music is going to get down when all these persons speak. Of course, they're not going to speak at the same time. I decide for each of the episodes that I publish which one is going to be listened to. So in this case, for example, the only track which is not muted is the first one.
1 intro underline Levimos underline Fran arm 1 item. Blank 1 Levimos.
Here's the voice segment.
Space.
Lo vemos podcast.
And as you can hear, nothing happens. So music continues to play at a very loud level while the voice is speaking. So let's fix that. First, I'm going to get into the routing options for the track number 1 of the project with the I key.
Routing for track 1 quote intro underline Levimos underline Fran quote dialog edit plus 0.00 type and text.
And I will keep tabbing.
Tab pan colon edit set tab width colon edit 100% tab track channels colon combo box 2 1 of 17 to change tab track volume fader left right slider plus 0 tab track pan fader left right slider center to increase tab track width fader left right slider 100% tab dash sends dash combo box add new send ... 1 of 5 to change the selection use the arrow keys.
I'm in the combo box that says
dash sends dash combo box add new send ... 1 of 5 to
sends combo box add new send, and probably what you're tempted to do is just press the arrow key up and down if you wish to move and select a different option. I do not recommend that though, because if you do so, you're going to create 1 send each time that you actually press the down arrow key. So my recommendation here is that you press Alt and up or down arrow keys.
Open list box 2 colon intro underline Levimos underline Fran underline Tiny.
Because it will expand the combo box. So now I can press the down arrow key.
3 colon Paula. 4 colon music.
And stop there, because what I want to do, as I explained at the beginning, is just send the audio to the track containing the music. So I'll press enter.
Enter dash send dash combo box 4
so
colon
that I consolidate the change. And as for this, we are done. I'll press escape key.
Escape track view.
And we now landed in the main screen of the track. Let's go to the music track.
2 intro underline detection 3 column unit 3 items. Blank 4 music arm 1 item.
Right now here, and get to the routing options for this track as well with the I key.
Routing for track 4 quote music quote dialog edit plus 0.00 type and text.
Because what we're going to do here is actually check, because I don't remember if I did that or not, whether or not this track contains 2 or 4 channels. We should have a track with 4 channels because we're going to be sending the audio from the other voice tracks to channels 3 and 4, not to the 1 and 2 channels. This way we were duplicating the signal and we don't want that. So let's make sure the music track here has actually 4 channels. I'll keep tabbing for this dialog.
Tab, pan, edit, center, type in text. Tab, width, edit, 100%. Type in text. Tab, track channels, combo box, 4, 2 of 17. To change
and
the selection.
Actually, yes, I did that. So let's leave it just like it is. Escape key.
Escape, track view.
And we are going to make sure
3 poly, 2 intro, 1 intro, 1.
That in our first track, in our voice track, the send goes actually to channels 3 and 4.
Routing for track 1, quote intro, underline, Levimo's, underline, Fran, quote, dialog, edit, plus 0.00, type in text.
I will keep tapping here.
Tab, pan, tab, dash, send, dash, combo box, add,
quick.
Tab, send to track 4, quote, music, quote, left parent 4, ch, right parent, delete button to activate, press space bar.
And as you see, just after the send combo box, it appears another section here in this dialog, which is called
send to track 4, quote, music, quote, left parent 4, ch, right parent, delete button to activate, press space bar.
And then we've got the delete button. If we want to delete this send, we are not going to be able to do so by pressing the spacebar, because if I do so,
Lo Vemos Podcast.
what actually happens in Windows is that you're going to be playing your project. So when we're using JAWS, the most recommended thing, at least in my view here, is actually use the JAWS cursor here.
Root JAWS to PC.
And I'll check with insert 5 on the numpad.
Delete button.
I'm actually over the delete button. And if I were to delete, I would just use my left mouse keystroke here for JAWS to delete. If you were using the NVDA screen video software, you could use just the insert plus enter on the number keyboard, because this uses to work when you use NVDA. I do not want to delete. What I want to do is actually change the channels to which this send is propagating the sound. So
PC cursor.
Let me come back to the PC cursor. I will hit now the applications key over the delete button, because this will bring up a contextual menu.
Applications context menu to navigate, press up or down arrow M, MIDI volume /pan M.
I'll use down arrow.
Envelopes and automation E. Mute M. Phase /polarity E. Mono M. Destination audio channel 1/2 D.
And this one's the key one, destination audio. So I press enter.
Enter. Leaving menus. Context menu 1/2 checked 1.
And as you see, we are now sending these to channels 1 and 2 of our music track. So we were duplicating the signal if we leave it just like this. So I'll keep pressing the down arrow key.
2/3, 3/4, 3.
And set it to 3/4, which is my desired option.
Enter. Leaving menus. Send to track 4, quote,
Press
music, quote, left
enter.
parent 4, ch, right parent, delete button to activate.
We land in the dialog for routing options, and I'll press the escape key.
Escape. Track view.
So let's, now that we have actually finished with the routing settings, get to the music track, the one that's going to be carrying all the effects. So I'll press the F key.
F. Scanning DirectX FX ... dialog. Cancel button to activate. Press spacebar. 12%. Track view. Add effects to track 4, quote, music, quote, dialog. Filter, edit combo. To set the value, use the arrow keys or type the value.
Okay, so I'm in the filter dialog. So I'll see what all the setting I have selected in the tree.
Shift tab. Add effects to track 4.
By shift tabbing.
Shift tab. 3-1 view. FX change 2 of 3 to move through or expand.
And of course, I need to change that, because otherwise I will find absolutely nothing.
C level 1. Cocos 8 of 9.
So now I'm in Cocos. I'll tap once again.
Tab. List 1 list view. Not selected. VST ray cast left.
Actually twice, sorry.
Tab. Filter edit combo. To set the value, use the arrow keys or type the value.
And I'll type here Reacom to see
REACOM.
what we get here. I'll press the down arrow key.
List 1 list view. VST ray comp left parent Cocos right parent 1 of 1. To move the items, use the arrow keys.
And that's actually what I want to do. I want to insert here the compressor.
Enter. FX colon track 4 quote music quote dialog. List 1 list view. VST colon ray comp left parent Kakos right parent 1 of 1. To move the items use the arrow keys. VST colon ray comp left parent Kakos right parent. VST colon ray comp left parent Kakos right parent.
And now I've inserted the compressor, but we actually need to change several settings here because the compressor now will apply to channels 1 and 2 of the music, and that's not what we want. We want the compressor to listen to channels 3 and 4 because there we have our sends from the voice tracks. So let's tab through this dialog.
Tab FX colon track 4 quote music quote edit type in text. Tab dot 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 button to activate press space bar. Tab combo box no preset 2 of 23 to change the selection use the arrow keys.
And here to make things quicker, I set up a preset here that's called voice chain. So I'll make use of that preset by just pressing the V key on the keyboard.
V voice over the chain.
That's that. So I'll just show you the effects, the parameters, for the effect here, so that you can have an idea of which figures you must use in order to get the most out of side chaining.
Tab plus button to activate press space bar. Tab parent button to activate press space bar. Tab 4 and 2 out button to activate press space bar. Tab UI button to activate press space bar. Tab checkbox checked to clear checkmark press space bar. Tab add button to activate press space. Tab remove button to activate. Tab list 1 list view via tab FX colon track 4.
And there's an issue actually by which I cannot get to the actual UI of the effect. So what I want to do is close this dialog
track view
of the effect with escape and reopen it again. This uses to solve the issue.
Tab 4 and 2 out button. Tab ray comp fresh left right slide.
That's that. So we are now, after several presses of the tab key, in the section where I can control the parameter of the effect.
Shift tab.
I'll just show you these figures.
Tab ray comp fresh left right slider minus 36.0 to increase or decrease use the arrow keys.
So this kind of, it's okay, it's minus 36.
Tab ray comp edit minus 36.0 type in text.
And here in Windows we've got two options in which we can kind of handle the parameters here. We've got the
Shift tab
slider.
fresh left right slider minus 36.0 to increase or decrease use the arrow keys.
And by the way, this did work properly with NVDA some versions of Reaper ago, but lately I'm finding that when you press up and down arrow keys, neither NVDA nor JAWS reports the state of this slider. So in my opinion, what we should do here is just get to the edit box.
Tab ray comp edit minus 36.0 type in text.
And edit it out just by writing the figures. Let's keep on tabbing.
Tab envelope pre-comp left right slider 100 to increase or decrease use the arrow keys.
Great.
Tab envelope edit 100 type in text. Tab envelope attack left right slider 100.0 to increase or decrease use the arrow keys. Tab envelope edit 100.0 type in text. Tab envelope release left right slider 500 to increase or decrease use the arrow keys. Tab envelope edit 500 type in text. Tab envelope classic attack checkbox not checked to check press space bar. Tab envelope auto release checkbox not checked to check press space bar. Tab envelope ratio left right slider 6.0 to increase or decrease use the arrow. Tab envelope edit 6.0 type in text. Tab envelope knee left right slider 0.0 to increase or decrease use the arrow keys.
I haven't touched it actually because it's not necessary for this purpose.
Tab envelope edit 0.0 type in text. Tab ray comp detector input colon combo box auxiliary input L plus R 2 of 7 to change the selection use the arrow keys.
But this one is really interesting because if we do not set that correctly, then sidechain is not going to work. So by default, when we get to this by pressing the F key and tab through the dialog, what you're going to find is the following.
Main input L plus R.
Main input L plus R. That's not what we want when we do sidechain. What we want is
auxiliary input L plus R.
Auxiliary input, which is actually channels 3 and 4 of our music track. So we are finished here. I'll press the enter so that we make sure that everything's closed and all is set up. And then I'll press the escape key.
Escape track view.
To get to the main screen here for our project. And I'll see what's the result of what we've done.
Blank one Levimos Fran. Space.
Lo vemos podcast, donde la tecnología se refleja de forma diferente, con José María Ortiz y Daniel Montalvo.
And as you can hear, music gets lowered just when the voice is actually speaking. So I hope it helps. It's been a pleasure. It's Dani Montalvo speaking, and bye.